Hi, I hope you can hear me. We had a disruption and yes, I had to start again. So just whenever you're dealing with Satanists and because of their pride, you notice what I was talking about, right? Because of their pride and because of the nature of Lucifer and his prideful nature, what happens is that they just can't shut up. They have to find a way to show off. So they'll show off through their movies. And I am not calling anybody a Satanist, but these guys have become so prideful that they have to show off. You know, they have to show off. There was, they already, somebody had leaked to, is it called the Nairobian, or it's called what, about how things are going to go down. This is the program. And indeed, by 8 p.m., it was looking like they were dead on the program. And that's what happens with pride, okay? So, and those are some of the things that make them fall. So when I hear that Moses Kuria was sharing videos and basically showing how he's going to go. And have you noticed how Moses Kuria, if he's not in government, he will really speak and correct the government. But the moment that he's offered a position, then he will normally go ahead and shut up and become pro the person is supporting. And those are some of the things. I mean, I don't answer my calls if I don't know who I'm talking to, because I am not going to have a situation where you're trying to get me, I don't know to do what. And yes, there's been calls trying to ask me to go to the national altar. And I said, anything you want to hear, already Mama Rachel Ruto can find out from me if she wants to find out from me, considering that I had meetings with her privately and we were on talking basis before her husband became the president. So don't be calling me at a national altar. You want to hear what God wants to say. Those are just things that are called. And that's the thing. This president has this thing where he actually thinks he can buy everybody. And the sad thing is, because he has managed to do it, I mean, how do you pay an intercessor? I mean, intercessors are on payroll for 110,000 shillings. That's the salary. I thank God for having blessed me in my career to be able to be paid so well that if you tell me about 110,000 shillings and to pray, okay, yeah. But also, at the end of the day, even if you were to try 2 million, 4 million, 5 million, for me to pray, so that then I can come and tell you that the Lord has said this and that, so that I lose my soul? No, prayers are free. Why would I charge you for prayers? But also, if you want to do the right things, you'll obey the Lord. Yeah. So they are here bragging, they are here showing off. And my prayer is that wherever Madam Honorable Chief Justice, Her Excellency, the President of the Judiciary of Kenya, I am trusting God that wherever she is, I may switch off simu kabisa. And let me tell you guys something. We come from the generation where she would have been summoned to State House and there's nothing she could have done. And so being able to see that so far nothing has been stopped, I'm just like, you go, girl. So when you guys want to malign, even if it's just for a few days and then somehow there's nothing that they end up doing or whatever it is, my prayer is that the judiciary has not gone into bed with the executive. So far, I don't see anything that indicates that they have, because so far they have helped us so much. And I'm going to repeat this and repeat this and repeat this. The case in a judiciary is based, first of all, they cannot do anything if somebody doesn't go to court. So the judiciary did not stop this thing. Some lawyers went to court and they applied for the judiciary to stop. Okay? So I told you guys yesterday, they don't do anything unless anybody goes there. They go to them. And that is one of the, let me say, weaknesses of the judiciary. But I believe it's just part of how power is controlled and the limitations of power because of their role, and that is their role. And then once a case goes there, then it depends on how you put your case, all right? How you put your case, all right? So by the time we judge the judiciary wrongly, we need to be very, very careful. We would not be running with public participation on this platform if we didn't believe in the judiciary. The public participation we are doing on these platforms with this current government is not for them. It's for the Okia Umtatas to have something to work with. But also, by the way, God is saying we need to help Okia Umtata. More people need to begin to go forward. And anybody can go forward to stop a case. For the lawyers in the house, for the advocates in the house. These are some of the things we need to look at. There was KCPF, Kenya Christians Professional Forum, that was trying to do a lot. They've ended up being insulted. Oh, you people, all you think about is whether it's something is about homosexuality or whether it's about, abortion. And I mean, anyone gets tired. But when you see Senior Counsel Kanjama, KCPF, which I'm a very, very happy member of, Kenya Christians Professional Forum. And I have been enjoying in some cases, I've offered, and then later on I was like, oh, do I want to be in this thing? But I am trusting the Lord that I'll be able to go forward with these cases and deal with these cases. But always the issues are always those stories of, do you really want to be bullied and harassed? I already told you guys that the moment that I said that I am running for president on 1st of November, I believe God also wanted me to know. These guys started listening to my phone calls. So literally, I have my phone calls with those who are okay with having the government as part of the phone calls. Yes. And thankfully, I have absolutely zero, nothing to hide. In fact, normally I say, oh, government, I can hear you're listening. Today, you're not even trying to hide that you're listening. Hopefully, you get to know that I'm a Christian. Welcome to this forum so that you can hear. And then I go on and I say exactly what I wanted to say and what I was saying. Yeah, so just crazy and ridiculous. Which has affected some of my relationships with people who are afraid to be listened to by the government. But there's nothing to be scared of being listened to by the government if at all you're not doing anything wrong, because they do that based on national security. But of course, they end up abusing it. And I cannot believe that the Ruto administration listens to my phone calls after I announced I'm going to run for president. They are that scared. They actually believe that I can actually get there. Thank you for that. I feel so touched that they actually see me as a threat. Anyway, it's a very high compliment. But the fact of the matter is, if there are no illegal things you're doing, if there are no, let me use the word illegal. If there are no illegal things you're doing, big deal. Let them listen. If they don't want to listen, they have nothing else. Sometimes it's so bad that you can actually hear like someone is crunching crisps. They want you to know. They're just trying to intimidate you and to scare you. So yeah, we will look at that. But as the Lord leads, as the Lord takes us forward, as the Lord shows us what to do. But what I was saying is I cannot believe that, because when I went to meet Mrs. Ruto, she had to take away her phone. Did I have to take away my phone? I can't remember, but I think she had to take away her phone. But I just remember she was saying how they've been listening to them and all that. And I remember she was very distressed about it. And I cannot believe that they are actually doing it too. And these are the things. How do you go right ahead? And the same things, and remember Rigiji saying that nobody will ever harass us, nobody will ever use the law against us. And you look at his video and you feel so sorry for him because he believed that thing. But here we go. Yes. Anyway, as a man soweth, so shall he reap. Yeah. So let them show off, let them brag. But the judiciary has to be present to swear them in. So let's see how it goes and what the Lord does. And let's remain in his presence and waiting upon him. Even before the abduction stories, it's also even the thing about how I got sick. I have not told you guys about it, but man, let me tell you, these guys have gotten into serious occult. They've gotten into very high-level occult. Very high-level occult. Don't joke about it. I was attacked when I was live. And because I'm a prophet, I'm able to then be more sensitive to that kind of an attack. But I was attacked in the form of spirits coming, human spirits coming. But I will not get into that at this point. I'll get into it when the Lord allows me to get into it. But, the devil is a bad devil. The devil is a bad devil, but our God is great. And we already know how all this ends in the end. And remember, this world is not our home. So let us stay with the Lord and with the knowledge that he who called us is faithful and Kenya belongs to God. So wacheni hizo story ati sijui nani ni Mkristo, nani ni Mkristo. Wacheni na hizo story. All right, God bless you. Bye. Have a blessed day. Hey. Are you seeing how much I've done? And then acha tuone kama I'll be able to do the walk. I thank God that the weather is still good enough for me to be able to do the walk. I hope I'll be able to, and I hope that my body will enjoy the the hormones that come in. So just I was closing in terms of your health. Going for a walk, especially if you can do a forest, if you can do a place, but just going for a walk, going for a swim, those are things that will help you to feel better if you're feeling sad about the nation. So it's not just about prayer, it's also going for a walk. Last night I was praying with my daughter's cat. I can't believe we have a cat in our house, but anyway we do, and she's a sweetheart. And yeah, so I was you know, I ended up playing with her, and just for a very short time, and I ended up laughing so loudly. I was feeling so sick, but I ended up laughing so loudly and feeling so much better, and sitting at the table and beginning to read for my exams, which are coming on next month. So pray with me on that. I'm hoping these are my last ones, at least on the bachelor's part. Yeah, so barikiweni sana. Steaming and sauna personally doesn't work for me. I feel like I'm suffocating. So find what works for you in this season, so that then, and especially if you're an intercessor, one of the things you've always got to do is to learn how to feel better when you are in the middle of a battle. One of the attacks the enemy will try to do is to put depression on you, to put discouragement on you, to make you feel like you're not getting anywhere and all that. And normally that happens when you are getting somewhere. Amen. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please make sure that whatever you're learning, then you're putting to use, and you're getting into prayer. I am not an entertainer, and it would be terrible that you would be taught and then you fail to learn. Amen. God bless you all richly. May God bless Kenya. May God preserve this country from any accusation of the enemy and any setup of the enemy where he'd be trying to set us up for an accusation to come into the courtrooms of heaven against us. So may the Lord protect us from that. So in this, you want to just not be rejoicing about Rigiji and what he's going through and what his family is going through. You want to just be praying for them, for the Lord to minister to them, and at least being able to call out the unfairness of the process, if nothing else. Because those kind of things are very important in the heavenlies, and Satan wants to use them as accusations. And as for Kindiki, my former neighbor, I really just hope, and the one who was in charge of things when kids were killed and so many people were abducted and there was a rule of terror in this country, well, just know this. Based on your appointment and how it's done, that is also a spiritual issue. So you can enter into a cursed state of an appointment, or you can enter into a blessed state of a situation, and things needed to slow down a bit. Even if you claim to be a Christian, you needed to slow things down a bit so that you can enter into prayer, so you can enter into fasting, and if you are a Christian, and also you know, be able to also speak to the former deputy president and possibly get his blessing for it. That would be very, very important for there to be no bad blood and all that. You know, whenever, you know, one attends an interview for a position, one of the questions that you always have to ask is what happened to the former job holder? Because you need to be able to know what happened to the former job holder, especially in senior positions. We always ask, you know, for me, I always ask, what happened to your HR manager? What happened to your HR director? Do you have somebody right now? And they look very confused. They look uncomfortable. And normally if it's the HR manager, I say, hi, you know, and especially if they are not in the room, because you do not want to take on a job and think that God is promoting you, and yet you are coming in to hurt somebody who had the job. There are some companies where you find that the job holder was demoted, and then now you've been brought in and you're supposed to work with them and they're supposed to induct you. There is no blessing in such a job. So for Kithure Kindiki, if you're interested in listening at all, you need to go there. But then I know that there were stories that Rigiji and you possibilities for deputy president, and then Rigiji got it. So maybe Rigiji alikuibia, sijui. I don't know your histories, but then if you're a born-again Christian, that is my free advice to you from a deliverance perspective and from biblical perspective and how God works. Amen. God bless you, everybody. God's got Kenya, And so long as we remain bowed before him, and he doesn't need a big army, he just needs for those that are called by his name to humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways and seek his face. Then he will hear from heaven. He will hear and he will indeed heal our land. Barikiweni sana. Let's continue to pray for one another, and let's continue to call on the name of the Lord. I give God all the glory. I give God all the praise, even for the strength he has given me to be able to minister to you. It's a great privilege. It gives me great joy to be able to minister to you and to be able to hear prayer testimonies as we go along of what these videos did for you or answered a question. It always encourages me so much, and I get astounded, and I know that that can only be God. God bless you so much, and stay ready. Jesus is coming back from church without blemish or blotch, and remember, he can come back for us in the form of transitioning, or he can come back for us in the form of the rapture. Be found ready. There is no warning in both of those things. Very rarely is there a warning. Barikiweni sana. Stay in the Lord, and please remember to pray for me, to stay in the Lord, to fear the Lord, and to hear from the Lord very clearly, and also just to walk in the fear of God and to love God's people more and more. And remember to pray for my family, pray for the Sozo Church of God family. It's not an easy time, and it's not been an easy time. We have suffered for quite a while, but we will continue to pay the price for revival. So help us, God, because it's worth it. When it comes, it's like giving birth. You forget about the birth pains the moment you see your baby. Revival is a lot like that. Let's pay the price. Kenya needs revival. The nations need revival. That revival, the end-time revival, will come from Kenya, and it's a launching pad of revival. And that's why Kenya is under so much attack. It's spiritual warfare. God bless you all so much.